The name of this next horse is Hoof Hearted, but listen to the call.
Hoof Hearted on the extreme outside. Colorado Co-Ed, Toast a Dozen on the inside. Quester's Jet, Hoof Hearted on the outside, it's close. Hoof Hearted in the winner's circle.
¡Claro que sí! ¡Ay, ja, ja! ¡Sí, señor!
What is up, pod people? This is another episode of Hoof Hearted. I am Doc, and today we got a special episode. We have listener, the Burrito. He is our special guest. What's up, Burrito?
What's going on, Doc? How's it going, sir?
Good. I have been wanting to do something that I haven't really heard on any other podcast before. I want to have listeners actually get their own show. Right now, we don't have that many listeners, so it's something easy to do.
Yeah, pretty easy, if you ask me.
Yeah. So, of course. Also, full disclosure: me and the Burrito are friends, and we used to work together, and we're still friends.
You want to know something?
What?
You know that we've been friends for 5 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I guess. Yeah. Time flies, huh?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that earlier today, and I was just like, man, we've known each other for 5 years, going back to your old job. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's you, me, and then we won't say his name, but I came up with a clever name for him. We'll call him Buffalo Brave. I think you know
Buffalo Brave. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Now, just if and when he ever hears, it's not a fat joke. So let's clear that up right now.
Yeah, and he doesn't listen, so he doesn't listen to podcasts. So you can say whatever the fuck you want about him. So it ain't gonna get back to him. So it's all right.
Never get back.
I don't think anybody that he hangs out with or knows even listens to this. So or listens to podcasts. So if he listens to anything, it's gonna be sports related. So
well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So
yeah, I was gonna say that me and the Burrito are good enough friends that he actually helped me move, and I still feel sorry for asking him because it was just me and him, and you worked your ass off, and I feel like you didn't get enough like praise or money for that. In fact, I don't think I gave you any money because I'm fucking broke. But
well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, it's very, very rare in these days that you can find someone that'll help you move, whether it's a bed or a refrigerator, or in your case, a whole house. But I mean,
house,
I'm someone that I'll try to help out any way that I can. And it's funny. I did the same thing. Let's see. Well, now it's 2 weekends ago. My niece just celebrated a sweet 16, and my sister-in-law moved a couple of things around for her. So I mean, I think it's one thing that my dad always told me is just try to help out in any way that you can. I mean, you don't have to move an entire house or anything, just lift the entire world. Just, help someone out, whether it's a friend of yours, family member, whoever,
Yeah. And that just shows what a good guy you are. So I am happy to have you as a friend, and happy to have you on the podcast because I do, like I said, I want to have guests on that are listeners. So if you are a listener to the Hoof Hearted podcast, and you want to be a guest and pick your own topic, then go ahead and contact us at the Hoof Hearted podcast on Instagram. It's just Hoof Hearted podcast Instagram, or you can contact me directly, Doc Farted, on Instagram. We also have a phone number. Our phone number is area code 661-379-0020. The Burrito's left a few messages.
I have.
Yes, he's texted me. I've played his messages on different episodes. So Rowan is a listener, and he's also been on the show a couple times. So
and which episode was that he was on? I want to say I've listened to it, but I'm not sure.
You've listened to it. It's just there's been so many episodes. So In fact, I'm going to put this out. I'm going to put this out because of what our topic is. I'm going to put it out around Christmas time. And I know I said that we were going to go on a little hiatus, and we are. But I wanted to go ahead and since, our topic is going to be what it is, and we'll get to that in a minute, I wanted to put it out a little bit before. But this is going to be episode 100. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so lucky you, dude. You get to be on episode 100.
Lucky me.
Yeah, lucky you. So the ones that Rowan was on, he was on 2 of them. He was on Rowan Spills the Beans. I don't remember what episode number that is. Let me look through here. Just give me a second. It was kind of early on, and that one was him talking about his days on the road, because Rowan used to be in a band called Cradle of Thorns, and they were also called Videodrome. That was actually episode 14. So Rowan.
That was way early on.
Yeah, very early on, and then he came back and he did another episode, and it was number 66. So number 66, it was Row, a very special Ed episode. So so that was the other one that Rowan was on. So, and that was just me and Rowan, and we were shooting the shit. So
like I said, I think I remember the episode very vaguely, but I do.
Yeah, no, our episodes are not very memorable. So
well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I know that you guys talked about conspiracies about sports, I believe, which we've had our own conversation about that in the past. So, and I know you guys have talked about video games. Now, the politics one that you did a few weeks back with Max, I've never heard him talk so much in my entire fucking life.
Oh, you're talking about Trump's big hands or Let's Cry on social media?
I believe both of them. Now, here's the thing. Now, I am personally not big into politics. I mean, I don't follow politics. I mean, in a way I do, just because of my wife, who she is, and she's real big into politics, and she hates Trump. But I mean, I always make fun of her. Yeah, I don't care. Like, I always make fun of her because, she likes to eat Chick-fil-A. I was like, oh, you like to eat your Trump food? She always gets pissed off when I tell her about that. So, and then she always gets upset too when I call her your boy. She gets so pissed when I say that.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if she'll ever hear this. If she does, I mean, it's all fun and games, but she knows that I just like to mess with her. But I mean, with this last, win that, Trump got, like, she was very, very upset. And, another friend of hers was pissed. Like, I mean, they were highly upset. And again, like, whoever listens to this, whatever your beliefs are on politics, that's your opinion. I don't follow politics, so I mean, me personally, I don't like the guy, but I mean, hey, what can I do?
Yeah. Again, though, like what I was the point I was trying to get across on the episode, like, don't cry, let's cry on social media. It's fine to be emotional and to have feelings towards the reaction that happened, or to what had happened. But I feel like people are going way too far and being way too extreme in their reaction on social media. And I feel like, why? It's a waste of energy. Like, if you're upset about it, then go out and, start a group. Start a group that's going to go ahead and change policies. If you're that upset about a certain person becoming president that you're going to start crying on social media, it's a waste of energy. Go out and try to make a change, because crying on social media and screaming at the top of your lungs and looking ridiculous is not going to change anything. All it does is makes people cringe. That's it.
Right. And here's the thing. My wife didn't do that. I mean, if I'm all honest, I want to say she didn't really post anything on her Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram. I mean, she doesn't have Twitter, so at least I don't think she has, or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. That's
And real quick, if somebody wants to cry about it and cry at home or be angry and upset, more power to you. That's fine. I'm just saying, once you put it out there socially, then I feel like that's wasted energy, because you're trying to get other people involved, and all you're really doing is you're getting you're people are divided on the internet. People are divided in social media, right? There's people who are for or against, and what you're doing is you're creating more trouble than what it's worth. You've got people who will be on your side, and you got other people who are going to be so against you that it's just going to cause more hate. So instead of crying about it, go out and do something about it. Try to build up, a movement or something like that instead of whatever. But yeah, so my only thing that I cry about is when my baseball or football teams are terrible, or when a video game sucks or something. So, which I know that that's the subject we're going to talk about. The topic I asked the Burrito. I said, hey man, you're the guest, so you get to pick the topic. And he said we could talk about video games. So I'm like, sweet, cool. And then I was thinking that since we're close to Christmas, and a lot of times for people like us who are lifelong gamers, and I mean lifelong. For me, I started playing the Atari 2600 when I was, very little. I couldn't even ride a bike, so but I could play Atari, So and I know for you also, you've played video games your whole life,
right? And the first system that I ever actually had that I remember, my first memory was the original Nintendo.
Yeah. But one of the things that's great about this time of year was when a lot of kids would get their first game system, or they would get video games for their game system. So what I kind of wanted to do was, we could talk about games like modern games, but at some point in time, I would like to talk about what Christmas or even birthday, because my birthday is right around Christmas. So I kind of like some of the memories, because I'm older and memories get jumbled, but some of the memories will be of
a little fuzzy.
Yeah. So like my birthday, sometimes like my biggest birthday memory I'll get into later, but it was probably the biggest video game gift thing that I ever got, and I was really excited about it. So, but so you want to get into what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about like games that you're playing now or that you're looking forward to, or do you want to just talk about your past in video games?
I mean, we can kind of just, I guess kind of jump around a little bit. Currently, I think I told you this recently. I have a PS5 and then I got an Xbox. So I ended up getting the PlayStation Essential or Extra, whichever one that you play the PS1, 2, 3
it's
games on.
It's the PlayStation Plus, but it's like for people who are Xbox people, it's like Game Pass. It's
which I also have as well.
Yeah. Basically it is it's kind of like a Netflix for video games. So you can pay a month, like per month, or you could pay for like a whole year. And then you've got a whole library of games that you can play. You can either download them or you can stream them. The cool thing about the Xbox One is that the one for Xbox, you could play on your Xbox, you could play on PC, you could play on your phone.
Actually, I just found that out recently, so I'll tell you about that one in a minute.
Can play on your phone or your tablet. And Sony is trying to do the same thing. Really, the Game Pass one for Xbox, that one is the cream of the crop. It is a good deal. Me personally, I've never had an Xbox. I don't have a PC that's like, top of the line or anything like that. I could play Game Pass on my PC, but I already own a PlayStation 5, and I just do the PS Plus. I'm not going to go ahead and get another stream. There's too many games for me to play, so it's not worth me buying
and
both.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny. I was just having a conversation with that about that friend of mine. Oh yeah, because basically what it was is the PlayStation. Again, like I said, I don't know if it's essential or extra, whichever one it is.
Yeah.
Uh, they had, I was on there and it said if I upgraded for $20, then I can get access to that. Which originally, I think when they were advertising it, maybe 2 months ago, they were saying, "Oh, join for $60 or $70." I'm just like, that's kind of excessive. And then it just popped up, and I said, "Well, it's $20, so why not?" And I decided to get it. And as of now, I am actually playing Infamous, the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
I originally played it. I want to say it was in 2016 or 2017. I'm not sure, but a friend of mine actually had it, and this was at a time when I was, trying to play other games and stuff like that. And I think we've had this conversation before, maybe not, but I was playing it and I got literally almost to the end, and then my save corrupted.
Yeah, that sucks.
And it erased. And the shittiest part is I had just saved it, just in case. And then I was going through the mission, and then literally the game froze, and then the system shut down, restarted. And then I tried to load it, and it just non-existent.
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
It was terrible. And so I've been playing it recently. I was actually playing a little bit of it last night. And it's a fun game. It's really, really fun. I know that we had talked about the second one, or no, you talking about Festival of Blood, which you hated.
Yeah,
so.
Festival of Blood was terrible. It was terrible. Now, I will say this, though. Like, I remember playing the first game when it came out. I played it not when it first came out. I had a PS3, and it was a PlayStation Plus game. I had gotten PlayStation Plus. This is way back in the day. And it was one of the free games. And I played it then. And it was a great game. I liked it. The mechanics were great. The story was fun. The idea that you could either be good or evil, that was fantastic. So I played that a long time ago. I played Second Son, which I believe was the sequel. And or no, it wasn't Infamous. No, Infamous 2 came next. Then it was Second Son, and then there's a newer one that I haven't played yet. But Second Son was the third one. I played that one. That one was cool. I liked that one. I played that one in the last 5 years.
Very fun game.
Yeah, fun game. And then I just recently played the Festival of Blood, which was a DLC, I believe, for either the first or the second game. What was that?
I believe it was for 2.
For 2? Okay.
But I could be wrong because I haven't played it.
Yeah, but they made it as a standalone also. And now it had been a long time since I played the first game and the second game. And so maybe it just sucks because maybe if I went back to play the first or second one, I think they would suck too. But I thought it was terrible. It was difficult. I could see how to me, I feel like as a standalone, it's not good because it just throws you right into shit. And so I feel like really what you need to do is you need to play the first or the second one before you play that one. So you're already in the groove of Infamous, because a lot of times with games, there's it's easier in the beginning and it builds up. So then that way you can kind of, they don't just throw you straight into the final boss kind of a thing. Well, it was just, there were vampires everywhere. I was dying, and I thought the storyline was stupid too. And it's you could tell that it is an add-on. It shouldn't be a standalone thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one it's a part of the Second Son game. I believe it's called Infamous Fletch, I believe, or Fetch. It's a little side story about the girl with I think she has lasers as her power. I can't.
So is that a side story, or was that I thought that was a brand new game, that was another game, or is that a side story?
So it's a DLC from Second Son, and I believe it's just. I mean, it's only maybe 5 or 6 hours. It's a
Oh, okay.
relatively short game. So,
Okay.
but if I remember right, I think it has a little tie-in with the story of Second Son. But
Okay.
again, I mean, I beat that, you know, a few years ago.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I think they gave it away for free on PlayStation Plus. So
Yeah, it's on there now. If you have the tiers of it, the tier list, the way it goes is, the first tier is essential, and then you've got
right,
extra, and then you've got premium. I have the premium, and the reason why I got premium is because I wanted every fucking game, and with that,
yeah,
you've got every game, and you can stream pretty much every game. So I don't have to download a bunch of games, which is fantastic because those games are huge. Um,
yeah,
I've got the terabyte. You got the terabyte on the PS5, and that fills up so quick. Because if you own
yeah,
if you own any sports game, it's gonna take up so much space. So
yeah. And it's funny because I actually had bought an external hard drive for my PlayStation. I believe last year. I believe it was a 2 terabyte. So because I
mhm.
mean that I believe the PlayStation 5 standard comes 500 gigs, which I mean that's two big games, like you said, a sports game or even like a first person shooter.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
can't
it's
remember.
insane. But yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I'm currently playing Infamous. As far as anything else, I was playing Spider-Man 2. I played a little bit of it, but my thing is usually when I start one game, like if I really like it, I'm not saying that Spider-Man was a bad game because I beat the first Spider-Man and Miles Morales, which were both very fun games. But I just think for me, like I personally don't try to play too many games because what happens to me is I'll get the controls mixed up.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
let's just say Infamous is X to jump, and then let's just say I play, a Call of Duty game. I'm gonna be trying to press X to jump, and it's like triangle or something. I mean,
Yeah.
and I know
Yeah.
that's not what the controls are for Call of Duty, but I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
So even with first person shooters, it's the same way. To an extent, they kind of have the same control schemes, but again, if you aim with L2 with one game, it might be R2 with another game, so or whatever it is. So I try not to personally play too many games. If
Oh,
I'm
dude.
lucky, maybe I'll play one or two and I'll be good.
The worst is if you're playing PlayStation, and then you're like, you know what? I feel like playing a Mario game, and you start playing Nintendo, and it's just everything is mixed up, because
Yeah,
their A and B is swapped basically. So, yeah, it gets you all screwed up, and then like playing Zelda, um. Like the jump button, I believe, is would be like the triangle button on the PlayStation, and there's
right.
not a
And I
there's not
think,
a single game in the PlayStation universe that's going to use triangle as jump. So
yeah,
it'll really screw you up.
yeah. And I mean, that can even go the same way with the Xbox, which is hilarious because
Yeah,
I've had a conversation before with friends of mine where we're talking about games, and then like, oh yeah, well, I was trying to press triangle and I was pressing X, and they're like, I thought you were playing this on the Xbox. I'm like, yeah, triangle and X, and oh, wait a minute, that's
yeah,
A, B, X, and Y. So yeah, I mean, and even in that case, it's happened to me before too.
yeah.
We're having a conversation and we mix the games up. So, but yeah, as of right now, like I said, I'm currently just playing Infamous. I was playing the newest Call of Duty on the Xbox, so it's on Game Pass, and
Hmm.
me and some friends of mine were playing zombies on that for a little bit. But I mean, with my schedule, it's hard because I mean, I get off at 8 now, but I mean, like my other friends, they go to work earlier, so they get off earlier.
Yeah, yeah,
Or, which another case, a friend of mine, he works late, doing same work as I do, but he just works in a different district, and I think he gets off at 11 o'clock. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
big difference, that kind of stuff. So,
yeah. So you're talking about what you're playing right now. What are your favorite types of games, and what are some games that you say you've probably sunk the most amount of time in, like your favorite game?
well, I mean, for the longest time, I mean, and this was going back to when I was a kid and even as an adolescent, like I was always big into sports games, like sports games,
Mm-hmm.
some wrestling games, racing games, whatever. So my palette of games wasn't that big. It wasn't until like 2006, 7, even 8 is when I started kind of expanding, like going in first person shooters, action, adventure, stuff like that. So I think just in the last like several years, like I've sunk a lot of time in the first person shooters, like Battlefield, Call of Duty, stuff like that.
Yeah.
For a while there, though, I was hooked on the Assassin's Creed franchise. I had a friend of mine that introduced me to that years ago, and
Yeah.
it was one of those franchises that I would see on ads and TV and magazines. And, oh yeah, it looks like a cool game, but I just being 21, 22, 23, and barely working a full time job with barely enough money to kind of survive, you couldn't spend $60 for a brand new game at the time. So
Yeah.
but luckily, me, I have a lot of friends that, are gamers like I am. So, oh, well, I have, this Assassin's Creed game, or I have Spider-Man, like, oh, well, can I borrow it? Like, yeah, sure. So I had a friend of mine let me borrow the first Assassin's Creed game, the very first one. And I kid you not, I beat that game in like 3 days.
Yeah, it's a fun game, dude. It's fun.
And it's crazy because like I beat that one like in 3 or 4 days. I beat the second one like in 6 days. And then the next one, which I believe was Brotherhood, I believe. I think I beat that maybe like in 10 days. But then after that, I suffered from burnout because I tried Revelations and I couldn't do it. So,
Yeah.
So I ended up giving those games a break. And then later on, like a couple years later, I ended up getting Syndicate. And that one, I fell in love with the franchise all over again. So to me, like my favorite Assassin's Creed games always comes down to 2 or Syndicate. Like those are like my absolute favorite games. I think for me, Syndicate was cool because you got to play with 2 instead of the 1 because it's the brother and sister. So, and then to me, 2 is just an amazing story. I really enjoyed it. So even so, like when they had re-released them, there was the Ezio trilogy on PlayStation a few years back. I bought it. I bought it because I wanted to play them all over again. So
yeah.
And I've beaten the first one, second one, Brotherhood, Revelations. I actually just beat 3, I believe, a year ago. And me personally, like 3 was a fun game, but just wasn't.
Yeah, that was the Revolutionary War one, correct?
It was the one with the can't think of the guy's name. It was is it Hemsworth or
fuck? I don't know. Dude. I don't know any names. Yeah, I'm terrible with names.
It's the guy from he comes from England. He comes over to America and he has a kid with the Indian lady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, that was the Revolutionary War one.
Right.
I actually I liked it, but I understand why people didn't like it. There's a lot of things in those games I'm like is really ridiculous. Like the very beginning of that game, you have to scale along the wall during like a play.
The opera.
Yeah, the opera. And I'm like, everyone would fucking see you. Like, there's no way that you're going to get away with that, And I'm like, that's just ridiculous. Some of the stuff is just stupid. But the thing that I like about the Assassin's Creed games is that it's historical. And then as a conspiracy theorist, a conspiracy minded individual like myself, and secret societies and stuff like that, the Assassins are a secret society from, days long gone. And they do a really good job of putting in some of that secret society type stuff. Yeah, and honestly, like who makes that? Ubisoft, right? They make that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm currently playing Watch Dogs 2. And the people at Ubisoft, like, they must all be conspiracy theorists because most of like the games that they have, like Watch Dogs and all the Assassin's Creed stuff, like they're going off on some crazy shit. And I'm like, yeah, dude, totally. And I know the stuff that they're talking about. So like, cause I've already heard it before. So it just cracks me up. I'm like, okay, these guys are all like They're probably
They're all about
listening.
it.
They're all listening to Alex Jones or some shit. I wouldn't be surprised if in one of their games the frogs turn gay or something like that. But
Yeah.
it's wild. They're wild. But I love the Assassin's Creed games because the historical aspect. My favorite one was the one where they were in Egypt. I can't remember if that was
Origins, right?
Is it Origins? I think it was Origins. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's funny is, so I had beaten, like I said, 1, 2, Brotherhood, all that. I beat the last one that I beat was Rogue, and that was a prequel to, if I'm understanding right, I think it was a prequel to 3, and it was also a prequel to Black Flag, because 3 was the first one where you can steer a ship, and
Mhm.
Black Flag, when you're a pirate, which is also a very good one.
I didn't like it. I hated the boat.
Really,
stuff.
you didn't like Black Flag?
Didn't
Huh?
like the boat stuff. No.
I thought it was fun, but I mean, like the story I thought was pretty cool. But me personally, and we'll get to back to Origins in just a minute. But me personally, I think Rogue is one of the more underrated Assassin's Creed games. Like I think to me, it's fantastic. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. It's usually people like 2 or Origins, And I mean and that's everyone's opinion. But like I said, I personally like Rogue was a great game. So because it gives it from the Templars view. I mean, I don't know if you played it, but that's what it basically is.
Okay. No, I hadn't
Instead
played
of
that
being, instead of being a part of the Assassins, you're a Templar. Which I mean,
one.
I
Okay.
guess it's kind of a spoiler, but I mean, if you just kind of get that out of your mind, I mean, it's great. It's a
Yeah.
really good game. Now Origins. Now that was the one that I pre-ordered when it came out. I believe 2016, 2017. Not sure. But anyway, so I played it and I noticed that they had changed the gameplay where it was more RPG driven and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I was able to play it, but and this is where I kind of stopped playing the games. And I mean, I'm not against RPG elements, but it just to me, when a video game has a certain formula, even if it is paint by numbers, like to me it works. And when they changed that whole scheme, like it kind of threw me off. And I mean, I got maybe halfway through, but for me personally, it was a little bit tougher because I was like, well, I'm trying to do all these missions and I can't go to the next mission because I don't have the right gear. Or I'm not the highest level that it needs to be. So it was just like, so it kind of soured me on those games.
What you're saying is it kind of overcomplicates things.
Right.
Yeah. I kind of felt that way too with the God of War, the newer ones.
Yeah.
And because it's like, oh yeah, add these gems and shit to your weapons, and I'm like, but the good thing, the way they made that one was where it wasn't 100% necessary. You could still play the game, beat the game without having all of these like advanced things. But, I mean, I get it, but I think though that sometimes games need to evolve, especially one that's a series that's been around as long as Assassin's Creed. But at the same time, like, if people aren't buying it, then they need to go back to the old ways. But I think people have kind of wanted to. They like the way it is, but I think a lot of the Ubisoft games are kind of like going downhill as far as everybody's concerned. But yeah, so
and I know that Origins, Valhalla, and I forget what the other one is, but I know there was like a kind of like the Ezio trilogy, where they're a trilogy of those style games, where there's the RPG element too. I know friends of mine that have played them, and they loved them. They thought they were great. I personally couldn't get into it. I mean, maybe because I know that they're either on Xbox or PlayStation, one of the two. I'm not sure, but I mean,
PlayStation.
Yeah, maybe somewhere down the line, I'll give Origins another shot.
Give Origins a try. Don't try Valhalla.
Yeah,
because if you didn't like Origins originally, you definitely won't like Valhalla, because Valhalla is overly complicated. Like they add way too much to like. So you could play. The story takes place in England. You're a Viking, of course.
Right.
And the story's okay. But it takes place in England. You can go to Valhalla and play there. You could also go to Hell and play there. And if you're a type of person who likes to collect things, then the game is very long and there's a lot. I mean, there's so much shit you can do. If you're not a person who likes to collect things, you just want to play the story, it's short. It doesn't take that long at all. So it's really, there was something about it. You know how when you play a game and you're like, I know this is supposed to be a good game, but there's something about it I just don't like. Yeah, that's the way Valhalla was.
I've had that issue with a lot of games.
Yeah, that's the way Valhalla was for me. It's also like Days Gone. Did you ever play Days Gone?
Days Gone. Is that the one where you're the guy with the motorcycle?
Yes, and it's zombies.
Yes, I actually played that game, and I thought it was a pretty fun game. I enjoyed it.
A lot of people liked it. I thought it was meh. And the thing was, I'm playing it, I beat it, and I'm like, I'd constantly start playing it, and I'm like, why the fuck am I playing this game? It was like, you know.
Yeah,
I think
this happened to me with 30 games.
To me, that game was like, they saw The Walking Dead, they liked Daryl, and they're like, let's make a video game, just Daryl. And then that was it. And I don't know. The hordes, yes, the hordes were fucking scary because those zombies ran and there was a lot of them. That was impressive. That was good. But all in all, like I don't know. There was something that was missing. I think back about it on it, and it really wasn't that bad. It just wasn't hitting right with me. So it's not a terrible game, but it just wasn't hitting right. So yeah.
That's happened to me with a couple of games in the past where it's like I'll play certain games and then like, or like for me, like if I'm playing it, and then it just ends, it's just like, wait, that's it.
Yeah.
Like I kind of feel like there are certain games that are just like kind of anticlimactic. Like, oh, okay, well that wasn't what I expected. So
yeah.
But yeah, like I said, Days Gone. And it's funny because like when you said it, there was another game I was thinking of. I think it's very similar to it. I think it's another zombie game, but I think it's a co-op game. I think that's the one I was thinking. I think it's just called Days. DAYZ, I believe.
Okay, so DAYZ, I actually like watching gameplay videos of that. Yeah, it was supposed to be like Zombie Survivor. It's interesting about that game. On the PC, it was created by somebody who was in the military. I can't remember what branch, but what he wanted a survival game. And at the time, people were like, well, this game is going to be fucking boring, so we need to throw zombies into it. So they threw zombies into it. Now the zombies are nothing more than a nuisance, right? Now that the game has caught on. But, you know, you're basically being dropped in like Russia and you have nothing. And so you have to find clothes, armor, weapons, food, because you need to eat and you need to drink, shelter. You can create your base. You meet up with people. You trade. You get killed by people. You can get killed by zombies, but the zombies are minimal. You know, it's kind of an afterthought now. To me, I feel like they should just get rid of the zombies at this point. But yeah, that game, I always think, oh man, I'd love to play that game, but I know I suck at those kind of games. So I like watching people play it. It's out of all the games to watch people play, and I don't really like watching people play games. Days, yeah, that one I like watching people play because the basis that they make is fun.
With, so I was I don't know. That's why I was like, I'm trying to figure it out, and that's why I said the guy with the motorcycle. But yeah, that's why I was getting those two mixed up for some reason.
Yeah.
Which, in all honesty, and this is just my opinion, and I've talked to friends about this. I personally am over the zombie thing,
Yeah, I get
and
it. Yeah.
I kind of feel like I'm going to go on another tangent. So we're just going to be bouncing all over the place. But me personally, okay, so I like zombies. Zombies are cool, but I feel like when The Walking Dead came out, it just not just with video games, but with movies for maybe like a span of like maybe 6, 7, 8 years. There was
Yeah, it was all zombies.
all zombies, and it just was like it just was overplayed to me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And here's another thing. Now, again, I feel like I'm going to go on another tangent. Do you or have you ever watched The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'm the only person in the entire world that's never watched it.
No,
Now,
you're not, but yeah.
So I had friends of mine that were telling me, "Oh, you got to watch, you got to watch it." And I watched. This was on Netflix. I watched the first couple of episodes, and I just couldn't get into it. I just
Yeah.
not for me. And funny because my wife watched it, but she said, and I'm always gonna forget. It's when Negan came in when they killed off. I forget what the guy's name is.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't
Glenn,
remember.
I think.
Yeah, Glenn. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She said that once they killed him off, she stopped watching the show altogether. She's
A
like,
lot of people did. A lot of people did. And see, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so I was actually reading the comic book along with watching the TV series, and
Right.
my thing was I wanted to see where the comic and the show differed, and I basically read the comic up to where Glenn died, and it was fantastic. And I read a little after that. And I actually read up until the point where Carl, the kid, ended up being was like, I think they call him a skinwalker or something. They put on the skin of people or something, and they walk amongst the zombies or some kind of shit. But
Yeah.
so I read up until that point. But as far as the TV show went, once they killed Glenn, I stopped watching. And it was just because I was kind of over it in the first place. I just wanted to see how were they going to pull off that episode on cable television, because it was graphic, man. And then Negan, I think I watched one episode or two episodes after. Negan swears a lot, and he is a disgusting individual. So I wanted to see how they were going to pull that off, and they did all right. They did okay. Yeah. But I was already like, I wasn't invested in the show anymore anyway. So other than seeing the link, but I get it with the zombie thing. I think you're right. Too much zombie stuff.
And here's the thing, like, I think, and I mean, I don't know this to be true. And again, I don't follow the show. Is it true that the show is still running, or is the show officially done? Because I know they have
the Walking Dead show is done, but the spinoffs, there's certain spinoffs that are still going. Yeah. So I couldn't tell you what they are. I have no idea. So
yeah, because I just like, I know that there was Fear the Walking Dead. I think there was one with just about Daryl himself, and then there was another one.
Yeah.
And like when I heard people, and again, I don't know how long the show was running, but like there was people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm ready for the new season." I'm like, isn't this like season like 16? Jesus Christ! Like there's only so much you can run on with the show, you know?
Yeah.
Well, the problem, I feel like TV shows is another episode me and you can do, because just there's a lot of TV shows I feel like that run too damn long. So,
the problem, the problem with a lot of TV shows, and it goes the same way with movies and video games, is that they're too formulaic, right? So there's these formulas that work or have worked, and as soon as Hollywood or entertainment, whatever, video game companies, as soon as they know that this works, they continue to stick to it. And the reason why is because these things cost a lot of money to produce, and they don't want to lose money. So they're too afraid to take these chances on something, you know, so they're too afraid to be innovative. So they just keep sticking to the same thing. That's why you get so many fucking Marvel movies. That's why you get the same type of video games over and over and over again. You know, but then like you look at the video games, like you loved Assassin's Creed the way it was. They took a chance because maybe the sales were down. So they took a chance in changing it, and you didn't like it. So,
yeah. And I mean, I'm just one person.
Yeah, I know, but you're not the only person. A lot of other people will complain because it changes the formula. So that is why game companies and movies and TV shows always stick to the same kind of formula because they're afraid of not making money. So,
right.
And I get it because it costs a lot of money to make those things. Video games are expensive to make now. Did you hear about that Concord game? Like they claim that it made, that it cost like millions and millions of dollars. I don't know. It was a ridiculous amount. You're like, no, that's gotta be bullshit. But like the Grand Theft Auto games, those cost a lot of money to make. And but it has made a ton of money, Now I saw a guy, he was talking about the history of Grand Theft Auto, all the way to the first one where it was a top-down game. And basically what he was talking about was how Rockstar was taking they continued to make games and different games. Like they made a ping pong game, they made a bully, they did a bunch of other games, and they took little pieces that were they had got positive feedback from those games, and then they got them all into Grand Theft Auto 5. And that's why Grand Theft Auto 5 was so good, because basically all the other games that they made were building up to that point.
Yeah, so, it's like they took bits and pieces of their other games and put it into one.
So I think that they did what good game companies are doing, and that is, they're taking the successful parts of all their games to create like their huge masterpiece, and that's what they did. You've got companies like Nintendo who they make games, and you're like, that is kind of a risk, but they're doing the same thing. They're taking those risks, and so that way they can make something in the future and make it better.
Right.
So yeah. But
here's one thing.
This
is just kind of talking about the making of games. So this is one thing that I've always hated, and this is just in the last few years, is they'll get games, they'll put them in development. Well, a couple things. They'll put them in development, they never get released. Fine.
Yeah.
But one thing that I hate is when they come out with a game and they're doing all this, putting this work in, and then they just release it completely broken.
Yeah.
Like completely broken. And I've noticed in the last few years, video game companies are becoming very notorious for doing that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I get it. These people are on a budget, or a budget and a time frame, but it's just like, me personally, like if you look at, we'll just use Halo for an example, like Halo. And I mean, I played the Halo games. I mean, they were never my cup of tea. They were fun, but if you look at the games, they took their time with them. Like they took their time and they came out pretty well. Whereas we'll just use Call of Duty. And again, going back to the formula, they release it just year after year after year, and they just kind of copy and paste. And sometimes, in most cases, the games are just completely broken, where multiplayer won't work or the campaign won't work. And then it's like, okay, well, the game's released. So day one, we have to release a patch. It's just like, to me, that's frustrating, because there's times where you want to play a game and you can't play it because the game's broken, because they want to release it we'll just release it, and then in 2 weeks we'll completely fix it and then we'll be fine. Like, no, like video game companies used to take their time with video games. They used to have time management. Okay, well, there's a bug here, there's a bug there, let's fix it. And in a lot of cases, a lot of those games come out and they're, I mean, not perfect, but they're smoother than a lot of games these days. And that's the thing, to me, that's frustrating. So it's just like I want to play a game, but or in some cases where there's a mission that you can't play because it's just messed up for some reason. It's just very weird thing.
I will say this though, it is complicated to make a game, and back in the day when games would have bugs like that would kill the game, there was no way to fix it except for they would have to recall the game and then re-release it. But nowadays, at least they can go ahead and update it, give you a download. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you are right. They do release a lot of games that are not full, you know?
Yeah.
I think part of it is, I mean, it is money, you know? Sometimes, you know, the game, if it were to be at their complete vision, it would cost more than what they can, spend. So they release the game as it is, and then they end up releasing DLC. And so, or, you know, so they start saying, DLC here, come get it, extra money. So it's a way for them to make some extra money. Maybe they release the game early to help fund the completion of the game. You know, computer games have been doing that for a long time. Like they've been doing that kind of stuff. And it's only recently that it started happening on like some console games. But you know, Nintendo never does that. When Nintendo releases a game, it's complete. It may suck, but
Yeah.
you know, yeah. But
And here's another thing. When is it? And I mean, I don't read a lot of stuff on the internet or stuff like that. But how often do you hear about the new Super Mario game is just completely bugged out? Like, how often do you hear that? It's usually Ubisoft or Treyarch.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah.
very rare that you hear of Nintendo having a bug like that.
It is. There are though. Like I mean, you look at N64, or like you look at Mario 64. You look at Breath of the Wild. There are people who find glitches, who find they're not necessarily bugs, but they're glitches.
Right.
To basically kind of like hack the game to do speed runs, but they're not
Yeah.
like game killing glitches, you know, like
Right.
and these guys, they find them under extreme circumstances, right? They're looking for that stuff. You're not going to randomly find it. So that's
Right,
the
exactly.
thing. Yeah, and also too, at the time, Mario 64 was extremely complicated.
Mhm.
Also Breath of the Wild is extremely complicated. Tears of the Kingdom, extremely complicated. You know, because
Yeah.
you've got all that stuff that you can create and fuse to your weapons. So, you know, I mean, games are complicated to make. So,
Yeah.
in fact, I have an old friend. He came in contact with me not too long ago, and I had asked him if he wanted to be on the show, and I need to get him on the show. He used to be a video game tester. Way back in the day. He tested for
Really?
he tested for Sony, he tested for Sega.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in fact, one game that he got to test for before it came out was, of course, it was before it came out, but it was the first Gran Turismo game. So,
Oh, really? The
yeah.
PlayStation 1 game.
PlayStation 1, yeah. So, you know, I mean, he was testing games back in the PlayStation 1 days. So, I don't know how much he can talk about some of the stuff. I don't know if he's still under like an NDA. I highly doubt it because a lot of the stuff is super old. But, you know, yeah, I need to get him on so we could kind of talk about that if he's willing to. It'd be cool. So,
yeah, that'd be fun. I'd love to hear something like that.
oh, I'm sure
I mean,
you would.
because I don't know too many people that test games. I mean,
yeah. Do you know anybody who tests games?
I personally don't know anybody.
Okay,
so,
yeah. See, I only know the one guy. So that's it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I can say,
yeah.
oh, I know someone that tests video games. He's
Yeah.
not a personal friend, but I've heard of him, know of him. So
yeah, but yeah, I need to get him on here, so that would be cool. I'll have to contact him. So, but I do want to end up because we're getting close to an hour here, so I want to end up talking about what we had kind of teased. But you know, a lot of times around the holidays, people end up getting video games. It's like it's something that we, you know, our generation. I am older than you, but you know, like people around our age, that is something that we got as a kid. We got video games. So,
of course,
me personally, we were always pretty broke, but I do remember for my birthday, and my birthday is in January, so it's not too far off from Christmas. So it was always hard for my parents to be able to buy me anything at any point in time, and then let alone having to get my birthday and Christmas, trying to figure all that stuff out. But I remember it was back in, gosh, I think it was like in 80, probably 88 or 89. I think it was probably around 88. So let's see, what grade was I in? I was in fourth grade, I believe. So I don't know how old I was.
Just for the record, I was still in diapers, so.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah. So but my parents said for my birthday, they told me to get ready. We're going to Toys R Us. And they said, we're going to go get you, you're going to get a Nintendo. And this is an NES. And
yes,
you get to pick one game. And I was so excited. Like, just thinking about it right now, like how excited I was. Because, the Nintendo was it, man. That was the shit.
Yeah.
And I had been playing the Atari for the longest time. Even when all of my friends, all the people I know, all had Nintendos. They've all beaten Mario, and I never got to play it because anybody I knew who had a Nintendo would not let me touch the fucking thing. So I was like, so I was just so like, oh man, I want to play, and I just remember my parents were like, okay, we're going to go. So we go down there to Toys R Us, and we get the NES, and it came with Mario and Duck Hunt. And I still remember that fucking dog laughing at me. And and I remember it did not take long for me to figure out that all I have to do is walk right up to the fucking screen and shoot the ducks. But and then I got to choose one game, and man, it took me so long to figure out what I wanted, and I got Double Dragon is what I got.
There you go. Yeah, Double Dragon's a fun game. Hard as shit, but it was fun.
It was fun. I beat it, which it was cool.
I never beat Double Dragon, so
yeah. And then I ended up, and then of course after that, like you start renting games and borrowing games, and just I remember, man, like the feeling of having that box, that cardboard box, and you open it up, and then it had that like plastic sleeve for your game, and it was just, I don't know, man, it was so cool. It was so cool. Like that's my favorite like gift game moment. And what do you have? Because like first of all, the only other games I really remember getting was like on Christmas. I always wanted a Game Boy, and so what? Instead, because we were broke, all I got were those fucking Tiger games. And
I remember those.
Yeah, and they all sucked, man. But I got Double Dribble. I got like a Tecmo Bowl, but I got the cream of the crop. And this one, my friends were actually jealous that I got. But I got the Bo Jackson baseball, Bo Jackson football one, the one that was double. So it was like one little handheld thing that you could play baseball on one side and football on the other side. Yeah, that was cool. You can look it up, man. It was rad. But that's the only other gaming moment I can remember for the holidays and for my birthday. Because after that, I actually the next system I bought was a Genesis. I bought that with my own money.
Okay.
And then the next system I got after that was a PlayStation, and I bought that with my own money. So basically, the Nintendo was the only system that my parents ever bought me. Every other system I bought with my own money. And to be honest with you, it didn't make it more special. I think it was more special when my parents bought it for me. So, but what was your holiday / birthday game memory that you have?
So for me, and now, you're talking about fuzzy memory. As I said, the first system that we had was a Nintendo, but I mean, when I was born, we had already had it, so that was
Yeah.
part of it. So,
Yeah.
but I remember, and it's funny, this is just kind of coming back to me. I remember seeing on QVC they had the Sega Genesis with Sonic 1 and 2
Mm-hmm.
as a
Mm-hmm.
combo pack. And it's funny because I don't remember actually asking for it, but I was like, oh, that's cool. And again, I don't know if it was for Christmas, birthday, but my parents actually got that for my sister and I.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, my sister is 7 years older than I am. So by the time that we got it, I think she might have been in junior high, possibly in high school. I don't
Okay.
remember.
She was too cool
So
for it.
yeah, so she was playing it, but then she just finally said, you know what, you can have it. So
Okay.
really, technically, Sega was my first system,
Mm-hmm.
but I ended up getting a Game Boy one Christmas, and then the following year, I got a Super Nintendo.
Oh wow.
Now,
Okay.
I got the Super Nintendo like kind of late in its lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it was 96 is the year that I got it
Uh-huh.
for Christmas, and I remember being so fucking excited because I mean, again, like by that time, I mean, the 64 was out. PlayStation, I think, was just coming out. Saturn was still around. So it's like, but shit, it's a Super Nintendo. So who the hell's not going to get excited for that?
Yeah.
So, um, I think the first game that I had for it was Super Mario All Stars.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because
I
you get
had
all of
that. And
them.
then, yeah, it has one, two, three, and then the Japanese version of
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. 2. And then, of course, later on, I ended up getting games for it. For my birthday, I don't remember getting any video game systems for my birthday. I do remember one birthday though. I remember getting a Street Fighter game that I wanted
Okay.
because a cousin of mine that I was close with at the time had that Street Fighter. It was called Street Fighter 2: The New Challengers, and I was at his house one time when we were playing it, and I really enjoyed it. And I told my mom and dad that I wanted that for Christmas, birthday, and I think they got it for me for my birthday. So, but uh, funny enough, the last system that I got for Christmas, and this was when I was already out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was barely out of high school, 18. I had been working my first job. My parents actually bought me a DS Lite for Christmas.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was like I said, I was already 18, working and stuff like that. They gave me that. I was like, oh, cool, and it's funny because I was really not expecting that. I mean, because even at that time, I mean, even now, like it's hard for them to buy me stuff, but
Yeah.
they're like, well, we didn't know what to get you, so we got you this. And I was like, oh, yeah, and I had that system for a long time, had a couple of different games. And yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that was like the last big uh, system that I got for Christmas. And then after that, I mean, like PlayStation 3, Xbox, Switch, Wii U, PS4, 5, Xbox One, all those I bought with my own money. So, but
Yeah.
that was later on in life. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, for me, like, even getting a video game on Christmas was a big fucking deal for me because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you as a gamer and I as a gamer and other friends that I know that are gamers, it's just like, well, shit, this is what I wanted and now I fucking have it.
Yeah.
It's it is fantastic. So
Are there any games since you've been an adult that you've gotten for Christmas and you're like, oh, dude, that's awesome. I'm so stoked. Like, thank you.
let's see, an adult. I don't think as an adult I got games for Christmas. In the last few years, it's mainly been like movies and just kind of other little random stuff. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think I've gotten a video game for Christmas in a long time. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
for me now, because I'm an adult, I just kind of I'm gonna go get this game,
Do it
even though I'm
yourself. Yeah.
broke as shit. But I mean,
Yeah.
like even like with video games and certain movies, I've told my parents, my sister, like this is what I want. If I don't get it, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't get it, I'll get it somewhere down the line.
You'll get it. Yeah, you'll get it on your own.
Yeah, I know. I think my wife, she bought me the Spider-Man, the one with the one that came out on PS4 and Miles Morales. I think she bought that for me for my birthday, if I remember.
Okay. All right.
Not for Christmas, but yeah.
I think for me, a lot of times, like, people won't get me video games anymore. Like, my wife won't do it now. My ex-wife, I used to use Christmas and my birthday as an excuse to buy consoles and video games. It was like the only way that I could.
Right.
When I wasn't married, I ended up buying a Dreamcast. That was when it first came out. I didn't have to ask anybody.
Yeah.
And then before, like, when I was divorced from my first wife and before I met my current wife, I stood in line for the Switch. I waited in line for 8 hours at Best Buy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, part of it was because, and I didn't have to ask anybody, so I just bought it. And yeah, it was cool. I just wanted the experience, like, I mean, to say I actually waited in line for a midnight release. I thought it was fun. I met a dude who battle rapped, which I thought was cool. Yeah. And then, and I was like number 8 in line. So there wasn't that many people in front of me. It was pretty rad. And then what else? And then the PlayStation 5 is like the first system I ever bought with, like, being married, and then just bought it. I didn't ask. Didn't ask for permission. Yeah. I'm just fucking buying it. So I went and I bought it. And yeah. So and then I had that thing for about 2 months before my wife was like, "So how do you like that PlayStation 5?" And I'm like, "It's pretty cool." she's all, "Yeah, you didn't say anything about buying it." And I'm like, "No, I was wondering how long it was going to take you to end up noticing it." She didn't even notice it until my kid said something. And so it's like, I'm like, we could have gone forever without that being noticed. But nobody buys. My wife doesn't know what I want. She's like, if I want something for Christmas, or if I want a video game, I'm just gonna buy it. And she doesn't know what I like. She knows she knows I like sports games. So, but she wouldn't even know the first thing to buy. So she's just like, I'm not gonna buy anything because whatever. So, but I did. I got for Christmas. I did end up getting Tony Hawk 1 and 2, the remake. I had gotten that from a friend of the family. So,
there you go.
That was like the last video game I got for like the holidays, and yeah, love that game, dude. Yeah. Like that's nostalgic right there. But yeah,
I had a lot of fun with that game when it originally came out. Yeah. So me and my cousins played the shit out of that game.
Yeah. Do you think you're gonna get anything video game wise for the holidays?
Probably not. I didn't ask for anything. Well, actually, it wasn't video game, but I was showing my dad because he asked me, a few weeks ago, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm gonna sound really old when I say this, but I was telling him that I wanted a Ryobi propane heater for my garage because I don't have a heater.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, I remember as a kid going to Home Depot with my dad, like, why am I here? What's the point of this?
Yeah, it's so boring. Yeah.
Now that I'm older, shit, man, for a while, I kid you not, my wife and I were at Home Depot almost every weekend for about a month and a half when we moved to Norfolk.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. I don't.
It's insane, man.
I don't even do like I always hated going to Home Depot. Like I would always joke around saying that, like, as soon as you need help, they scatter like cockroaches, like trying to find somebody. But and
it's funny because you mentioned that in one of your previous episodes.
I did. Yes, I did. Yeah. But I'm not Mr. Fix-It, but I like going to Home Depot now. I think there's like a certain like age that you hit and you're like, yeah, dude, Home Depot, Lowe's, fucking hey, let's bring it on, and you're like,
Yeah.
Osh, what the fuck is Osh? But
Yeah.
yeah,
And
we
it's
don't
funny
have any of
'cause,
those here. But
Yeah, it's funny because funny enough, me and my dad had to go to Home Depot this weekend because we had to fix my water spigot, and we had to get a couple things, and we fixed it. I mean, we fixed it, but it was still leaking, but we ended up fixing it a little bit later. So,
yeah, it's
but yeah,
weird.
I mean, like
It,
I got like power drills and shit like that
yeah,
now, and I mean, not that I do a lot of stuff around there, but at least if I need to do something, I'll have the proper tools that I need.
it's weird, dude, because like when you get it to a certain age, and you'll just like I found myself in a feed store. I don't own horses or chickens. I just went into a fucking feed store. I'm like, let's check this out. It's like, what the fuck, dude? I don't have any reason to be in there. It's like going to a Tractor Supply store. I don't need to
Yeah,
be in there. It's
I
fucking
think for
dumb.
me, like when I see certain stores, I think it's more the curiosity.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
what do they sell here that would interest me?
yeah.
So, which is funny because actually we went to Tractor Supply, I think last year for something. I don't even remember what we went for, but it was something that we were looking for at our house, and we found it. And then we were just in there roaming around, looking at random stuff. Oh yeah, this is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But yeah, maybe it's just that certain age you reach. Because I
Yep.
mean, what 15-year-old kid's gonna go to Home Depot for, aside from spray paint to tag something up? Like really?
Yeah. I'll tell you
I
what
mean,
though, like my mom used to take us to the fabric store when I was a kid. My mom sews, and that was the most boring thing ever because I'm a texture type person, so I
yeah,
like textures. So I would just like the autistic part of me would just sit there and want to touch everything. And so so I'm just touching all the fabric, like, ooh, this feels nice. This feels nice. But that can only last for so long. And my mom would be in there for fucking hours, dude. Hours. And you get bored. I will tell
yeah,
you, there is not a certain age where you want to go into a fucking fabric. I still do not want to go into a fabric store. I have no need to, no desire to. You will not catch
yeah.
me in a fabric store. I will go to Michael's where they might have fabric. I will go to the Walmart where they have fabric, but I am never going to a fucking fabric store ever again. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
no certain age for that. But Tractor Supply, yeah, dude, yeah, you'll catch me. Maybe at
Yeah.
random.
You know,
Yeah,
it's funny because I kind of had a similar experience. Like with my mom, like she would go shopping, so she'd go shopping for clothes, purchase stuff like that. And again, when you're a kid, you're just like, I'd rather be somewhere else. But then when you start wandering around, you start seeing something. Oh yeah, well this is cool. This is cool. As I got older, I started to like shopping, and my wife was like, "Are you sure you weren't a woman in your previous life? Because you just love the stuff."
yeah,
Because most now, again, we live in a different time frame, but you know, let's just say 20 years ago, maybe
yeah,
even 25. What man would go to a store and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy this. I'm gonna go buy this shirt, that
yeah.
shirt, whatever." Like, it didn't happen. This day and age, it's again because the world is changing.
It's
So
okay to be a
much.
dude and like shopping,
Yeah.
unless
I
unless
mean,
you're
me
50
personally, it
Cent.
never bothered me to go shopping.
Yeah, unless if you're 50 Cent and Puffy is like trying to ask you if you want to go shopping, then it
Yeah.
ain't okay.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Yeah.
funny because like there's times where like if I'm going shopping, like I'll tell my wife, I'm gonna go, we'll just say Marshalls. Like, what are you going to Marshalls for? Like, I'm gonna go shopping. For what? Like, I want to get a new shirt or a new pair of pants. I want to go. But she'd get dragged with me anyway, and she'd be wandering around like a little kid. Are you done yet? I want to go home.
Yeah,
You know,
that's funny.
and that's why, like, for me, like, whenever I go shopping, I usually go by myself. Now,
Yeah.
if I go to the grocery store by myself, that's a whole nother thing because I'm one of these people that I don't write stuff down and I always forget what I'm going to get. So I have my wife text me a list, and I shit you not, there's even times where she'll still give me a list and I will still forget the most important thing that I was going for.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not that
It,
way. I'm
it
not that
never
way.
fucking fails.
I want to list and I want to get in, and I mean I'll wander if I need to wander, but I like to just get in and out. And then
And it's funny
I
because
hate having people coming with me because like there's just a couple things I need to get. And then my wife's like, you want me to come with you? No, I don't need you to, because then it's going to be a thing, like now I have to wait for you to get ready. And then one of the kids is going to be like, oh, I want to go. And now I got to wait for them. And it's like, it's just so much easier. And then also too, like my wife is impatient. So if we're going through the store and then somebody's in the way, she's like, oh, and then she'll zoom past the person, or, somebody's taking forever at the checkout. And it's like, you didn't have to come. Like, I'm okay with all this stuff. It would have been easier if I just went by myself. You didn't have to, you wouldn't have had to get changed, all that stuff, like things just become a big deal. It doesn't need to be a big deal. But
I think for me, like there's times where I'll ask her to go with me, just, do you want to go and stuff like that. And then there's other times where I'm going to go. I'm leaving, like, I'm going to come with you. It's just like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't ask you to come, but okay, you can come.
Yeah. Hey, okay. So I know we've strayed from the video games. I'm probably going to cut all that shit out. So
I would leave it in.
You want to leave it in? You want to leave it in? Oh, we should have.
Why the hell not?
Yeah, we should tell some racist jokes or something.
Well, hold on. That's a mix thing.
That's a mix thing.
I don't want to be part of that nonsense. Here's the thing. I'll tell you this. If, again, however many people are listening to this, I don't know. But if for some reason I say a racist joke and somehow it gets to my wife, she's not going to be happy. I'd rather not have to deal with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my wife. She means the world to me, but you don't
want the wrath. You don't want the wrath of your wife.
Yes, it's funny. I was talking to my sister-in-law about this. Like, you know what? I'm okay with dying. If you can just murder me now, do it. But if my wife is going to murder me, that might be another subject. I'm like, because I just feel like she would torture me.
Yeah,
like she would just cut off my limb, and let me die.
Yeah.
I'd rather have something just quick and easy.
Quick and easy. Yeah.
Quick and easy. That's what she said.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's fine. Hey, okay. So you're a listener of the show. We're going to leave it with this. You're a listener of the show. And I know that, we've got a variety of listeners, that all like different things. So it's kind of hard for us to, we're a potpourri of topics.
Right.
Now, I know sometimes we talk about like conspiratorial type stuff, and you're not necessarily a conspiratorial type dude. I know you like
listen to it. I will listen to the idea of it.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about that before too, just in our own conversation.
Yeah, yeah. But because you're more of like a game and movie type guy, but do you? This is the question I'm going to have now. Do you have a favorite episode? And what do you like about the show? And if you were to recommend the show to somebody, how would you describe the show?
I mean, like even you said yourself, like in the very first few episodes, they were, somewhat conspiracy, but as time has gone on, I mean, you guys have talked about video games, aliens, breakdancing, Trump. You guys have kind of gone all over the place. So I would just describe it as a podcast that you guys just kind of let it all hang out. You don't hold back on topics. You just kind of say and, talk about how you feel about a certain subject. Like Max a few weeks ago with his beliefs in Trump. And again, I've never heard him talk so much in the show. It's usually you're the one that's doing the heavy lifting and asking all the questions. And I mean, I'm not saying that he doesn't have input, but I mean, I kind of felt like those 2 episodes, he kind of carried the show.
Yeah.
Just his feelings and stuff like that. So, some of the earlier episodes where you guys talk about video games, I know there was a health episode, which I thought was kind of interesting. One episode that I actually, and I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but the one where you talked about your father was was a very, to me, and I know it was a very short episode, but I really enjoyed it because you kind of express your feelings for your dad, and just that was a really cool episode. Again, it was very small, and I mean, I know you had just lost your father, so I know you were probably grieving too. But just, I really like that episode. But just like
I really,
Alien One. Like there's a lot of episodes that I like from you guys. Now I know at one time there was certain episodes that I didn't get to listen to because for some reason my Spotify wasn't working and wasn't notifying episodes. So I've gone back and listened to some of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, if I had if you were just a podcast that just talks about just about anything and they don't hold their feelings back about it.
Yeah. All right, cool, man.
So I mean, I don't know if I'll be on the podcast again. It'd be hilarious if I was. Again, I mean, like you guys talking about conspiracy theories. I don't have that many about that. I mean, I'm one that listens to it. We'll listen to them,
You're open-minded.
We've talked about video games. We know your hate for Well, I know your hate for Ben Affleck and the few listeners that are out there. So
yeah, fuck that guy.
So would you be willing to do an episode and just talk shit about him just for the hell of it?
I mean, I had one episode where I did talk about him, but I mean, I could. The thing is Mex, I think he's I wouldn't say he's a fan, but he's kind of a fan of Ben Affleck because Ben Affleck was Batman,
Yeah.
So he thought that he did a good job as Batman. I think Ben Affleck sucks. So, and I will always stand firm on that belief right there, man. All you got to do is watch Pearl Harbor and you'll know Ben Affleck is a shit ass actor. Maybe he got better. I don't know. I don't think so. I still think he sucks. I put like pretty much every episode that I've done, I put that as one of the hashtags is I put Ben Affleck.
Really?
Yeah, in the descriptions. This is because nobody reads the descriptions. Nobody does like any of the They don't look at the hashtags. But I just put it in there in every single one because like fuck it, man. One of these days, maybe he'll end up seeing it and it'll be like, oh, what's this about? And then he'll end up finding out that I hate that motherfucker. Can't stand.
Who knows?
Movies.
Maybe it'll blow up on social media and then you guys will start getting a massive following because maybe you'll have more Ben Affleck haters. Like, yeah, we hate that guy. Fuck him.
Or maybe he'll be on the show and he'll try to convince me that he's a good actor. There's no way.
The day you get Ben Affleck on the show, I will shit my pants.
Yeah, you know what? I will too. In fact, I'll do the whole interview with him with shit in my pants.
Oh, God, that'd be the fucking best.
And then at the end, I'll sell the shitty underwear and I'll be like, this is Ben Affleck's acting. this is what
you signed this from.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just don't like him. I don't like him and never have. I don't like him. Like Dogma, I couldn't get into Dogma because I don't like Ben Affleck. Pearl Harbor was, I mean, I only watched it because of Cuba Gooding Jr., but that was just a fucking, that was a nightmare to get through. And it was so fucking long. And I still can't believe, and it cracks me up that Mex would watch that December 7th. Every year for a few years, his parents would make him watch that movie. Still cracks me up.
I remember when you guys are talking about that. That's hilarious.
God. Yeah, I hate Ben Affleck so much. I can't even remember some of the. I think he was in Chasing Amy, which I never watched. He was in Mallrats. He got punched. That was cool. I liked when he played.
He was in a movie. With Jennifer Lopez. I think it's called Jersey Girl. I don't know how.
I'm not gonna watch that. Or wasn't he in Geely or whatever that was?
I believe so.
I don't know, man. Good
it's
Will
weird because
Hunting.
I feel like I've seen him in movies, but maybe because I saw him in Batman vs Superman, so that I know I saw him. But like, I know he's been in other movies, and I don't know maybe because I don't pay attention to it, but I'm just like, oh yeah, there's Ben Affleck. So But
Yeah.
I think the thing that gets me is the disdain that you have for him is fucking hilarious. Like that's
Yeah.
probably the funniest thing. So,
Can't
and I mean,
stand
I
that
get it.
guy.
I'm sure there's other people, not necessarily Ben Affleck, but they hate. We'll just say Robert De Niro or Salma Hayek. Like I fucking hate those people. They suck. It's just like okay, you know.
Dude.
But I mean, like I said, I mean that's what makes it hilarious. Just when you just go off and just shit all over him, it's fucking hilarious.
Yep. Don't like him. Don't like him.
We need to get the hashtag We Hate Ben Affleck going.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's
heck.
a lot. That's a lot to put on there. So I was gonna put I hate Ben Affleck, or Ben Affleck sucks. I was gonna put that, but that's so much to type out in a hashtag. So I'm like, nah, I'm not going to.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's way longer hashtags that people use for that. So
I'm sure, yeah, but I just try to keep it quick and easy. Yeah, but yeah,
no,
okay, maybe I'll do a hate on Ben Affleck episode. We'll do that.
even if you just do it by yourself, I don't know if Max will be along for the ride. I mean, just 'cause, I mean, I know you've done solo episodes in the past, so
Not
I mean,
really. I did record one. I just never put it out.
Okay.
It was basically going to be an emergency thing. The
Okay.
only time that I've done a solo episode was just like if I was kind of, I mean, it was the one with my dad, of course, but it's just me apologizing that we hadn't had an episode come out in a while. So
Yeah.
they weren't really episodes. They were just kind of like, apologies. So
Right.
but yeah, no, I mean, I think if I do a Ben Affleck one, and I know you've been asking me to do this for a while, I think I'll have it with Mex because I feel like he would be a good counterpoint, because if it's all hate all the time, just me going on, I just sound like a crazy person. There needs to be a balance. Somebody who actually thinks that Ben Affleck has some talent. So,
No.
yeah.
Well, I mean, when you have shows like that, you always got to have a balance,
Yeah, I think so.
If you have one person or even two people that just hate the same thing, it doesn't make it as fun.
No.
Well, and I'll use this as a perfect example because we're sports guys.
Mhm.
You hate the Dodgers, I hate the Giants. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole another episode on its own, I think. So,
And fuck the Dodgers. Max is a Dodger fan.
is he really?
Yeah, I mean he used to play baseball in high school. He stopped. I mean, he played when he was really young, and then when he was in high school he stopped. But yeah, he used to play baseball. He was a baseball fan, but
there you go.
he's not into it now. He'll watch the playoffs, but he's not like we are, dude. So
Yeah.
But
One thing that I've always found hilarious about our conversations, whether we're in person or we're on the phone, you always end it with "fuck the Dodgers."
Yep. Yeah, fuck the Dodgers. Seriously, like I was thinking getting a tattoo. Just with a baseball that says FTD.
Oh, there you go.
Fuck the Dodgers. So
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
what I was thinking of was getting a baseball, like the Giants, like baseball, their logo with the Giants across it. And then right underneath it, in I was thinking either blue or just black, but FTD. So yeah, it's the only thing I'm serious about. Serious enough to get ink. Fuck the Dodgers. So,
And you don't have any tattoos, right?
No, I don't. No, it's because I'm not like, I don't feel that strongly about things. So I just wouldn't get a tattoo. The only tattoo I thought about getting was the back half of a donkey.
Okay.
Yeah, because I do everything half-ass. So I'm like, yeah, that'll work. So
I feel like that's been my life for the last few years, half-ass and everything.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Well, you work for the district, so it's, what are they gonna do? Fire you?
Well, I mean, if I get myself in enough trouble, I will. So,
yeah.
I'm not like that. So,
Yeah, no. No. The only way that they're going to get rid of you is if you get hurt and you can't come back. Trust me.
Oh no, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, no.
Well, I was going to say, even putting a kid's hand in ketchup, even that doesn't get you fired. So.
No, that's true. I thought it was.
God,
ranch. I thought it was ranch.
I remember when. Oh, it was ranch. I remember when. Was it you or our friend that said it? I can't remember, but I was fucking laughing my ass off for days about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's hilarious too is, well, you worked with him. He was at the school you were at previously, so, and I think he's still there.
I think so, yeah. But he's making a lot of money doing umpire. He's an umpire.
Well, I mean, is he a legitimate umpire, or is he just kind of?
No, he's
not like an Angel. He's not like an Angel Hernandez umpire, is he?
No, he umpires like girls softball. And and he does it on the weekends. So like and sometimes when he goes out of town, he'll take like a Friday off and he'll go out of town. Like he on the weekend, just on the weekend during a tournament, dude will make close to $2,000.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
He told me he's like, dude, you should get into it. I'm like, because you gotta buy all your gear. And I'm like, I can't like put money up front to do this shit.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. I think you'll be a better umpire than Angel Hernandez is. Forever will be.
Nah. Well, he did suck, but my vision ain't what it used to be. God, dude, you know how much I'd be farting behind the plate? Like every time I'd squat over, it's like, and they'd probably kick me out, man. They're like, no, this guy keeps farting. There's no way. It's not gonna work.
Man, I can't handle it, man. This is bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. No, it's my shit because I just shit my pants. Yeah. All right. Well, we have gone off on a tangent, and I'm not going to guarantee that all this stuff is going to be in the show. But anyways, I am going to have this out. This is around the holidays, so we're going to go ahead and have this out around then. But before I play the horns, do you want to put your social media out there, or do you want to remain anonymous? No, I mean
I'll put myself out there. I'm on Instagram at the Electric Burrito. That's ELETRIK, and then Burrito. I just post random bullshit. I'm not an influencer or anything. I just post random crap. So, that's where I'm at. I don't have X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it. I am on Facebook, but I will not give out my name. Yeah. I think on my Instagram it says my name. So if you're interested in following me there, I literally post dumb shit there. Memes, pictures of my family, my wife, and other random crap. I'm a very, very boring, basic person. So
you're so basic that you drink pumpkin spice lattes.
Well, that's something I don't do. So
okay. Well, then you're not that basic. You're not as you're not as white as I thought you were.
I don't wear Uggs or anything. So
I mean, you did talk about how you like going shopping. So I thought you were a pretty basic white bitch. So. Anyways, I want to speak to the manager. Okay, Karen. I know it. I know it, Karen. I feel so bad for her now that she has to deal with that shit. Anyways,
I don't envy those people that work in customer service, Walmart, anything. Just ugh.
No, I just
especially at this time. God damn it, man.
Yeah, no, I pick up people all the time that are doing that shit, and I feel bad for them. So, but I am gonna play the horns. So,
all right.
Do you have any final words for the people out there in the podcast land?
Just give these guys a follow, rate, like, and subscribe on Instagram. I don't know if they're on X, but give them a follow. And have a good time. And thanks for having me on. Yes, sir.
right. I almost ran out of
That was-
space.
Really?